Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin, and let's talk watch philosophies. A couple of watch philosophies here, okay? And we all have our own system of horological beliefs, philosophies on watch collecting or servicing your watch, what you would have done to your watch, what you wouldn't want done to your watch, who you'd let do the servicing, or philosophies on the best watches and what makes a watch the best and which watches are the best and which watches offer the best value. And look, everybody has their own interesting and unique system of beliefs concerning watches and they guide our horological moves. And we're going to look at a crappy one today, a crappy philosophy. Am I being rude here? No. I mean, this comes from Crappy Luxury. And as I write this, Crappy has gotten his luxury watch. It's on his wrist as I make this video. Well, I don't know if he sleeps with his watches, but if so, then it's likely on his wrist. What has he gotten? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but perhaps after this video, I'll check it out. But his goal was to get a luxury watch, and apparently that dream has been realized. So we'll see what he got. So he commented on the video where I talk about the gentleman who ordered the 6-digit Yachtmaster and didn't get quite what he wanted. And a lot of people commented on the risk of buying online. And Crappy made his comment. And I thought it was interesting because it revealed a little about what makes him tick as a watch person, all right? A little something about his horological philosophy in terms of watch buying. Let's contrast it with mine. He wrote, my 2 cents, only buy an expensive watch at an AD and get the best discount you can. Buy it, take it home, love it. Only buy a cheap watch, gray market, i.e. under $1,000 USD. So he considers sub $1,000 watch a non-luxury piece. And I think he would agree that those are okay to buy on the gray market and perhaps order, not a big deal. But when it comes to a luxury watch, one over $1,000 USD, then again, like he says, only buy at an authorized dealer. If the one watch you really want can't be found at any dealer, choose something else. All right. So there you go. And let's just contrast this with mine. And central to my watch buying philosophy is the idea of not settling. And that is pretty much in opposition to what Crappy is saying. He's saying if they don't have what you want at the AD, choose something else, something you don't like as much, and go with that and just be happy with it. And the idea of settling is just not something I'm a fan of, because I think it will almost always in time breed dissatisfaction. And so I try to avoid it. And I think you guys should too. Now, let me just say that we all have to settle to some extent. And in fact, I responded to Crappy and he came back with this, and it's kind of cool. So let me read it. He wrote, we all can't get the Bang Miss Universe, so there's nothing wrong with going with one of the runner-ups. Crappy, I agree. One of the runner-ups would be just fine. And if they're not, well, you very well may die a lonely old man, never having experienced the tender touch of a woman. And we don't want that. But again, we're talking watches here. But what he is saying here is that perhaps we all settle to an extent. And that is true. Would I have loved to have gone totally new old stock for all of my pieces? Absolutely. Why not? Well, I'll tell you why not, because it's not feasible. And, on a side note, would I really have tromped around in Southeast Asia with a box and papers unpolished Explorer 2? Nah, I mean, I would have had fun with that. And be careful what you wish for, okay? So as much as you might think you want those new old stock, highly collectible vintage pieces, they just might wind up sitting in a bank safe more than being enjoyed on your wrist. Okay, so anyway, but it wasn't feasible, so I did have to settle For pre-owned pieces, okay, so settling does happen. And look, if you're after a $2 million Patek, well, you're probably going to have to settle for something else. Everyone will have to sell to some extent. But, if you're talking a similarly priced piece that you can't find at the AD but exists on the gray market, why not? Why not? Well, again, if you're, and I don't want to sort of try to psychoanalyze Crappie too much, but it seems to me that his philosophy comes from a position of being risk averse. There's a certain amount of risk when you buy pre-owned pieces, and I understand that, and by not settling, it puts you in a situation where you may have to risk things like polished pieces or pieces that you find out later had aftermarket parts, or perhaps getting a fake piece or a stolen piece. I mean, those are all risks that you experience. And of course, those risks can be mitigated. I think it's, on one hand, one of the most dangerous times to buy a Rolex watch. I said that in a video. But on the other hand, it's one of the safest times because there's so much information out there. And, videos like hopefully my videos and other people's videos, and articles and books and the internet and the World Wide Web and the Rolex forum. There are many ways to educate yourself, and that mitigates the risk. And going through proper channels and brick and mortar shops. So anyway, there are things that you can do to mitigate the risk, but there will be a certain amount of risk. But you got to ask yourself, is the risk worth the reward? Well, once you take the risk and you find out the piece is fine, and maybe it's been serviced by Rolex, and so it's not stolen anymore, the risk is gone. It just sort of serves as a hurdle that you overcame to get that watch. And in fact, it makes you appreciate the watch all the more. And you might thought, wow, that was kind of scary at the time, but man, I did it. And that's a pleasure in itself. And hey, you got the piece you wanted. If you're risk averse and because of that you settle, that is a cost you will pay forever every time you look at that watch. And maybe you truly did want, say, a 5-digit. They don't make them anymore, so you couldn't have gone anywhere but gray market. But you just weren't willing to do it, and so you never did get that 5-digit model that you wanted. That was your grail. Well, every time you look down at that second fiddle watch, it's going to weigh on you, and it will forever, okay? It'll always be an albatross that follows you around in the back of your head. And, you'll have to do some serious mental gymnastics and what's the psychological term? Where's Ron the Shrink when I need him? Anyway, you're going to have to do some mental gymnastics to sort of come to grips with that watch. And I don't know if it'll be a true love affair, as I think a watch purchase should be. But again, it'll be safe. So just two different buying philosophies, mine and Crappie. Am I a little bit risk averse? Absolutely. I mean, I don't think I will ever buy a watch on eBay. And if I did, you can damn well be sure I'd never wire the money. But if you're not looking to take those calculated risks, you will get a good watch. It just might not be the one you truly want. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.